gone live on time. That's like technical glitch this morning. There we go. Good morning. It's Monday morning, and it's so lovely that you can join me for a lovely way to start our week with some meditation. And I thought we would literally keep it really simple this morning and do something called an open awareness practice, which basically just means that we'll begin by paying attention to our body as a way to really land in this moment, because often on a Monday morning we can be already halfway into our week and thinking about the things that are to come. And then we will, instead of focusing on something and using that focus to just bring us back every time we get distracted, instead with an open awareness practice, oh, crazy dog just running past, in case you're wondering what that noise was, we'll as something comes up in our awareness, let's say a thought occurs to us, rather than noticing it's a thought and coming back to the focus, which might be our breath or our body. Instead of doing that, we'll just let that thing be momentarily the thing that we notice, and we just note it and label it in our minds. And don't worry, I'll guide you through if you're wondering what I mean here. But essentially, so instead of it being a thought and then us getting caught up in that thought, we just label it thinking. And likewise, if there's a sensation in our body that somehow becomes the most obvious, suddenly we're uncomfortable or we experience something, instead of our mind going into that discussion with ourselves about what's going on, we're just labeling it sensation. And if there's sounds, it's just hearing. But I'll guide you through and just see how it is for you and just be curious. And who's over on Facebook with us? And there we go. A few late people. Well, don't worry, we haven't quite started, so it's a great. You're not too late. I'm just going to quickly save that, and I hope everybody's had a nice weekend too. Because it's I went swimming yesterday actually in a lake, and the water was 5 degrees. Oh my word, it was so cold. I managed to do one lap of this little loop, and then there were 2 women I was swimming with. They were wise. They were like, oh, let's do another small lap. And I was like, I think I'm done. I can't feel my fingers or my toes, even though I've got neoprene gloves and socks on. But we did have a nice cup of tea around the fire afterwards, so that was lovely. So I hope you had a nice weekend, hopefully warmer than mine. Brilliant. So let's close down our eyes. And if you haven't meditated with me before, I'm just seeing if there's some new names there. The two pieces of guidance are really in terms of posture. We just want to find an active but relaxed posture. So we don't want to be so relaxed, even if you're lying in bed still, that you're like literally going to fall back asleep. But equally, I've lost my hat completely now. But equally, we don't want to be holding it too tight and concentrating too much, because that again will just almost constrict. Imagine like a watering hose. If you constrict it, that flow, it's like you can't allow things to flow through. And then the other thing is the other bearing in mind is our thoughts, because if you're human, when you close your eyes, then the chances are you're going to have thoughts, and that's absolutely okay. It's exactly what's supposed to happen when you close your eyes to meditate, and all you need to do is notice and come back to the practice. And as I said, we'll move on to an open awareness practice where we'll allow thinking to just be something else that we notice and label, almost like just things flowing in and out. And the benefit of this kind of practice is to focused attention practice tends to really focus and train our prefrontal cortex, that ability to stay where we choose, be able to choose a response. This practice with the open awareness practice, it actually is about down regulating our reactivity. So it's a really useful one for allowing us to feel calmer in our lives, so that as things come up, we don't have that same urge to act and to react to them. So the combination of the focused attention and open awareness is really powerful brain training. So closing down the eyes, and just taking a moment to really turn inwards. So often we're rushing to get somewhere or reach some goal. And for now, we're going to do the opposite. Just moment by moment. And I'd like to invite you to place your attention on the very tips of your fingers. Without moving the fingers, just let your full focus rest there. You might notice a gentle tingling or buzzing in the fingers. And if you don't feel anything, that's okay too. But if you're feeling sensation in the fingers, that's just your nervous system responding to your attention. Your fingers preparing for movement. And see if you can add your toes to your awareness now. So your fingers and toes are in your awareness. Maybe there's other things you're aware of, like sounds or sensations or thoughts, and that's okay. Just see if you can come back to the fingertips and the toes. And allowing that awareness to spill across the palms of the hands and the soles of the feet. Coming back when the mind wanders. Then allowing that awareness to spill up the ankles. Big fish jumping in the background. And then up to the knees. And then allowing that awareness to spill up the thighs and into the hips. Noticing the weight of the legs. Maybe even noticing the surface underneath you, whether it's the chair or a bed. Just noticing that you're supported. And seeing if that means you can let go just a little bit more. From the hands, traveling up the wrists and the forearms. And then all the way up the shoulders. Feeling the weight of the arms now against the body, the hands in the lap. And then across the chest, down into the belly. Your whole body in your awareness now. Just noticing how that feels. And feeling the body rising and falling as you're breathing. Setting an intention to be right here on this Monday morning. I'm exactly where I planned to be. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to do. This is it. This moment, connecting inwards, is all that's real. And as we pay attention to the breath rising and falling, you can notice where you're breathing this morning. Is it high up in the chest? Or is it further down? Breathing slow and deep into the diaphragm and the belly. And the body's breathing for you. You don't need to make it happen. And now as we move from a focused attention to allowing things to arise, we just let go of that focus on the breath and instead we just note the things that arise. So perhaps there's a sound that becomes the most prominent in your awareness. And just labeling it hearing, hearing, hearing. Maybe you label it once and then it's no longer the most obvious thing, or maybe you have to label it a few times. And if there's sensations in the body, maybe an awareness of a part of the body or some other sensation, just labeling it sensation, sensation, sensation. And if there's thoughts or a train of thoughts, or you suddenly realize that you're caught up in thoughts, Just label it thinking. 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 There's no need to get involved in the thought or try and push it away, or you just allow it to be there, but just label it thinking until something else takes its place. And maybe there'll be moments where there's nothing to label. And as we have some stillness now, you can just gently continue that noting of whatever arises. Sensation, hearing, thinking. And gently letting go of that labeling now. Coming back to the breath and focusing our attention again. Maybe gently noting rising and falling as you breathe as an anchor for your attention. As you breathe in, it's rising. As you breathe out, it's falling. And we'll take 3 slower and deeper than usual breaths. So breathing in through the nose, all the way down to the belly. So breathing in through the nose. Allowing it to rise up in the chest before gently breathing it out through the nose. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the nose. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the nose. And then letting the breath find its natural rhythm. Slowly returning movement to the fingers and the toes. And just gently blinking open the eyes. Just taking a moment of stillness, just to feel how it feels in your body after being still. And hopefully feeling a little bit more ready to tackle your Monday. Now, I can see from some of the names on here, some of you are joining me tonight. So those who are members in my membership community, you're definitely coming along. It's our knowledge session tonight, and we're going to be talking about calming the Christmas chaos. And those of you who signed up, you should have received 2 little samples in the post, and we're going to be using 2 essential oils to set some intentions for December, and to really ground how it feels in using the meditation and the oils to allow you to create micro moments as you go through December, when the energy ramps up and there's a lot going on. So I'm really excited to share that with those of you who are joining me. And as I said, I know that some of you are. So have a great day, and I will see some of you tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. Take care. Bye.